Hello YouTube, and welcome to my video walkthrough for Dungeon Keeper 2, the classic game from Bullfrog from 1999. Just before we get into it, check on the game options. This is how I have the game speeds set up. I've reduced mouse sensitivity and scroll speed down to the lowest, but increase the game speed up to 100% because I think it starts off at 50%, which is a bit too slow, really. So let's start the new campaign. Actually, I'm just going to pause the video here for just a moment because there is something to go through before we get into the game. Yes, indeed. If you saw the 2017 channel trailer that I made, then you'll have seen that I said I was going to be doing Dungeon Keeper 2, but the game would be in full HD. And this is possible. And what I'm going to do now is to show you exactly how. Firstly, if you want to play Dungeon Keeper 2 yourselves, then it is available for download on GOG.com, Good Old Games, which is the same website I used to get Syndicate Wars, the game that got me started on YouTube. It's available for less than $5, or you can wait until there's a sale, which they usually have like every season, similar to the Steam sales, and you can pick it up for like a couple of quid or something. Well worth doing. There's no DRM. You download the entire game file and install it, and then that's it, and away you go. So well worth doing. If you want to run the game in full HD, then it needs a bit of manipulation in the registry. So firstly, what you need to do is to go into regedit, type in regedit into the search bar in Windows, like so. For those of you that aren't familiar with your computer's registry, it's essentially a database of all of the settings for every piece of software and program on your computer. It can be a bit dangerous to manipulate if you don't know what you're doing, because if you get some settings wrong, it can stop your computer from working. So be mindful of that, and I will accept no responsibility for anybody who goes into the registry and messes things up and can't get their computer to run. So just only change the settings that I'm going to show you, unless you know exactly what you're doing. So entering regedit brings up this, the registry editor. And what you're looking for is the folder labeled H key current user, and then the software folder within that, and then Bullfrog Productions, and then Dungeon Keeper 2, obviously, and then the configuration folder, and then the video folder within configuration. And here you locate the registry entries labeled screen height and screen width, and then all you have to do is change them to HD settings. So screen height 1080, screen width 1920. And make sure that you select the option for decimal rather than hexadecimal as well. That is important because the 1920 by 1080 is a decimal value, not a hexadecimal. So you need to make sure that that option is selected. Just one other thing to bear in mind is that when you change values in the registry, they are instantly changed. There's no draft version that you then have to save in order to make the changes permanent, because there's no save button within regedit. So you change something and it will be instantly amended as well. So that's also important to remember exactly what changes you've made, because you can't undo them unless you know what you've done. So once you've done that, though, then you're good to go. And the next time you log into the game, it will be in 1920 by 1080. That is except for the menu screens. The title screens will always be in Crapo Vision, the standard resolution. You can't change that, but the actual game, the gameplay, will be in HD, as you are about to see. So let's get into it.
Smilesville. Welcome, Keeper. Before you lies a happy and carefree realm. The local champion, Lord Antonius, holds the first portal gem you require. Learn how to construct a dungeon.
I do love this game. It's one of my favorite Bullfrog games, one of my favorite games from the 90s, really. And it was one of the last games that Bullfrog ever produced, as the studio folded in 2001, and this came out in 1999. So they only had a couple of years left after this, and I think the only games they made after Dungeon Keeper 2 were a couple of theme park games, Theme Park World or something like that. But I think this is it's certainly the best Dungeon Keeper game, and I think it's one of the best games that they ever made. I've chosen to do Dungeon Keeper 2 instead of the first Dungeon Keeper for a couple of reasons. I think the second game is just a bit more refined than the first game, which could be a bit chaotic at times, and there is also the fact that you can run this game, despite its age, in HD, because unlike the first game, this was fully 3D all the way. The first game had 3D dungeons, but the sprites, the characters in the game, were sprites, so flat, two-dimensional. Because this is a fully 3D game, you can manipulate the settings to make it look, well, make it look like this, basically. So you're not stuck with the old square resolutions from back in the day, because everybody had square monitors back then, rather than the large widescreen flat panel beasts that we have today. So yeah, with it being fully three-dimensional, it was it's right on the cusp of sort of the modern age of gaming, where everything was 3D. This was like the transition period, sort of in games, to go from flat sprite-based games into fully three-dimensional. Certainly, I think it was the first fully 3D game that Bullfrog made. Is they tended to be known for for 2D games like the original Syndicate and Theme Park, Theme Hospital, and so on. It's a shame that they didn't keep going, because they were a fantastic studio, certainly one of the best ever to come out of Britain. And this game, I think, showcases British humour in games fantastically well. I mean, it's just achingly British in its style and humour, as well as being a fantastic strategy RTS game as well. So this early level is just well, it's a little more than a tutorial, really. You learn how to build rooms, how to use your imps, and you can slap them, as you've seen me do already. Slapping your imps, as well as being fun, does also make them work a bit harder. Move a little bit faster. So give them a slap. Show them no mercy. You are playing an evil dungeon master, after all.
Behold your portal.
Voiceover is just great. Fantastic voice acting performance by your narrator.
On his own, he is a cowardly beast.
I think they bring back the same narrator for the new game, War for the Overworld. If you've not heard about this, then War for the Overworld is essentially a modern version of Dungeon Keeper. It's made by a different studio entirely. Obviously, Bullfrog doesn't exist anymore, but I think there's some dedicated fans out there who wanted to make a new Dungeon Keeper, so they have done. And similar to Satellite Rain and Syndicate, it did start off as a Kickstarter project and managed to secure enough funding, and has been released and is out now, and it will be covered in a future walkthrough by my channel. So that's something to look forward to later in the year. But for now, we've got Dungeon Keeper 2. So I'm just getting my imps to dig out these rooms. Just need to build a hatchery, and then we just need to go and kill the guy for this level. So that there's nothing really to be done as such, because what I mean is that there's no real strategy in this first level. The game tells you exactly what to do, and you just do it. And so you can't fail this mission as such, or you'd have to do something really pretty awful to fail this first level. Slap the chicken! Slap it!
And then your numbers will be strong enough to challenge Lord Antony.
Slap the chicken and it explodes. You can also pick up the chickens as well and drop them on people for them to eat. Because, as you'll see going on, people tend to, your creatures tend to get annoyed quite easily.
I sense a breach.
Because they don't have enough food, or they haven't got a lair or something. They complain a lot. So you can either pick them up and drop them straight in to the room, or if they need food, just pick up a chicken and drop it straight on the character. Feeble dwarfs.
Enemy dwarfs are being crushed. Observe the white health flowers.
They are being crushed.
When they're near to death, you'll see that only one last petal shows.
So, you could see there that there was one piece of dirt, earth, and a gold seam next to it. So I'm just gonna dig those out, and if you want to complete the level, then all you do is tunnel to the north through one remaining square, and that will expose the hero's lair, so to speak. But make sure you pick up the secret item here. You get a lot of secret items dotted around levels. I'm not going to go and try and get them all, I think. I'm not going to bother with like 100% secret item completion on every level, because it can take a very long time to find them all. They're not too difficult to find usually, but it does mean a lot of exploration in the levels, and that will absolutely balloon the length of the videos, which will probably be quite lengthy anyway, because this is a game that you often have to take some time on. But not in this level. This will be over in just a moment. See, the magic item that I just picked up then increased the my character's levels, their experience level. So they make short work of them. Anyway, all of those goblins. Horny! Here he comes. I remember playing this back in '99, being absolutely amazed by these graphics. For the time, they were pretty stunning. The fact that his footprints left fire, that was so cool. Yeah, simpler times back then. Simpler times. And that's it for this level. So, yeah, the first of many to come. There's 20 levels overall in the game. And some of them will take a fair amount of time, so it might get split into 2 videos, but we shall see. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Mission 2. Bye for now.
Hot live.